Hello, hello, Kalu Kalay. My name is Notepad and on Internet Games for Fun. So what are we doing today? Today, obviously, we're going to be attempting, anyway, to finish Brave New World. Yes, that is the entire goal today. It's just to finish Brave New World. We legitimately have one thing to do. There is one thing we have to do. That is quite literally it. There is nothing else we need to do. We just need to make enemies, and it's gonna be great. Gonna be great. So obviously I put in some note. Oh goodness, readjust my life here a little bit. put in some notes for, ignore that. Ignore everything up there. We were talking Swordsfall earlier. Of course, I have the announcers booth. Kind of go over the idea of like, hey, what's an adventure? What's scenes? What's episodes? Things like that. Kind of like, hey, play with the mercenaries a little bit. So it's like the mercenary guidebook for threats. That's all we need to do today. That is quite literally the last thing that needs to be done. Before this entire game is good. To hit that button finally. Hit this button finally. So let's get to it. So, how do I want to do this? I have a very basic idea of how to do this. It's just going to be a little bit time consuming. So if anyone has questions, now's the time to ask them, because it's just going to be a lot of me sitting here and looking at the screen. We'll encounter expedition into the Latin Pontificate. Mercenaries encounter dozens of threats during their expedition to the Latin Pontificate. So many threats. Oh. Hello, thank you very much for following the Beasthaven. Thank you very much for following. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna smash that follow button where like this is the screen. Apologies. This is the pulse pounding excitement that I can afford you all. So many threats that let's see, so many threats that many of them will instead the handy mercenary guidebook to the mercenary guidebook for threats. TM the mercenary instead the hen will give the mercs a fighting chance against the various threats that would like nothing more than to eat them alive. When designing every threat encountered in Brave New World. Every threat encountered in Brave New World is built using the guidebook. Allowing the announcer to tailor encounters to be exactly the way they would wish them to. Exactly. Let's see. No goodness, we got another one. We got another follower. Oh goodness. Hello. Miriam Gabrielle 33. Hello. We're doing pretty all right. We're just going there. A lot of people follow. A lot of people here all of a sudden. See, anytime I see like people follow quite a bit, there's always like a little ounce of fear that goes into my heart. You're like, oh no. I'm writing a book. Oh, that's cool. What's the book about? It's gonna be something exciting, right? Or you're going to throw a sidewinder at me and being like, surprise, it's actually my erotic, Aang Zuko fanfiction. I've been too deep into the Avatar stuff recently. I don't know why, but I don't write on a computer. I write with a notebook and a fountain pen. You are far braver than me. I have my notebook by me as I speak. I've noticed over my life that I take better notes in a notebook but anytime I write in like a notebook, any prolonged period of writing, it just gets worse as time goes on. The notes get more sporadic. The words start getting longer, and I just like quickly start jotting things down. Like, no, get rid of that. Yeah, we got writers who are brave here already. Oh goodness. Ow! Let's see. Threat encountered in the Brave New World is building using the guidebook, allowing the announcer tailor encounters to exactly the way they wish it to be. Finally getting to the end. Yes, today is the end. We literally just have to write a way to make enemies. It's a book that targets the baddest of animals. See, that's worrying, because there's a lot of bad animals. The line. Oh, baddest, as in coolest, not like the horrible genetic failure of the koala. Or koalas. Truly, nature's punching bag. Tailor encountered to be exactly the way you wish them to be. Everything encountered in the Brave New World is building. Hey, my first time Twitch, first channel followed. Even if I already had an account somehow, jumped over from YouTube. Ah, that's very cool. Yes, hello, yes. Thank you for following on the YouTube. It's always nice. Now you get to see the live action Notepad add-on where he just stares at screens. The man who looks at screens. I want to write badass, but my computer is a piece of shit. What video did you come over from, Beasthoven? Exactly. Allowing the announcer to tailor the encounter to be exactly the way they wish them to be. Hello, phone. For the new people here, this is my phone. It does make clown noises because I am God's silliest clown. Right, tabletop role-playing games for fun. This is my destiny. I'm also on my second cup of coffee, so I'm feeling really good. I'm Italian. I was inspired by an Italian author. Oh no! We have another Italian. I've realized over time that we have I do have a very large international community, but they're an international community that is spread across the world, and none of them get along. You're cynical most of the time. I am cynical. I've been trying to get better because a lot of like I've noticed that I've been trying to become more positive and like go over games and I'm like doing it. But one thing I noticed is that a lot of the games that are interesting for me to talk about in some regard aren't the best, and that's why I want to make it. That's why I want to comment on them. I try to have a bursting sense of enthusiasm, but each type of I need to be more positive and positively review fiction involving cyberpunk. Wish them to be. Using the templates of type difficulty, and let's see, type difficulty and perks, benefits, traits. No, traits is a bad word. You know the usual books that have positive ended? Forget it with me. Create a host of threats using a template. The answer will create a host of threats using templates of type, difficulty, and I want to be like they get special little features to allow them to actually like let them do some things. Actually, modifiers. I clicked your HP by accident. That's why I'm so curious now. You write games like a maniac. I do. Unfortunately, if hectic challenge for our would be for our our daring. Okay, so the basic premise of this. The basic premise that I have is that an enemy is going to be broken down into different types. These are going to go from goons. We'll probably call them. We'll call them goon. Actually, no, goon's a bad word now. Minion. Like these are like your basic rank and fodder. They go down in like 1 or 2 hits at best. These are the least pretty much least complex. They are literally going to have a type, and that's it. They're going to have no special effects. They're going to have pretty much just a gun. This is Pirate number 7. This is Soldier 2. These are unimportant people that you're like, oh, bang, and then they explode. They're not important. They're nameless, you know, nothing burgers. Brutes, obviously. These are advanced fodder. They're going to have a few notes. They're going to be a little bit more complicated. They're going to be bulkier, but they're not really going to be as much more complicated. Like, they are good at doing their thing. I could probably rename these to brutes. Then we're going to have elites. These are going to be pretty much, I would say, on par with a PC. They are fairly equal. They are on par with you. And one elite versus you're going to get in fight. It's going to be, depending on if they're combat elite, they're going to be able to kick your ass a little bit. If they're not, well, you can kind of deal with them. But there's multiple of you, and there's only one elite. Then we're going to have, how do I want to word this? This would be, I guess a boss would be the, let me see. I probably did this the absolute best in... First of all, it's a furry book. This is for several reasons, because every person is associated with. Light is cool, majestic. Then it ends shit. In my book with a character, I'm bad. The book starts badly and ends 3 times worse. But it ends. I never ended one of mine. See, the hardest part about legitimately any kind of book is... The hardest part of ending a book will always end up being that you have to end it. And that it's like you don't want to end it. Or it's like, okay, I'm going to end the book, and you're like, fuck, I don't know how. Or you're like, damn it, we're too many things open. That's always the hardest part. Let's see. See, numbers. Incredible, something to deal with. Brutes. tactic challenge for our daring merc. So we want to do heading 3. This is going to be our we're going to be doing types of threats. First things first, we need to explain what are we going against? What horrible monsters are we going to be fighting against? So, basic kind of threats. During the expeditions into South America. Expeditions into South America lead to a host of horrible. Expeditions in South America lead to a host of horrible entities that would like nothing more than to destroy the mercenaries for daring to step foot within their borders. While many of these like Kinger Chronicles by Pat Ruff that said he's unable to end it even though the fans wanted him to not sign the film deal until finished. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a Game of Thrones fan, by the way. Don't talk to me about ending things. I know. I fuel the fires of Notepad. Oh yeah, what we like to see. The mercenaries for daring to step foot within their borders. He's tried since 12 years, yeah. The mercenary, actually, indicates the general makeup of the. Every moment. Well, here's the secret, Miriam. You gotta have hope. That is the most powerful force of any story. You gotta have hope. Because if everything is terrible, everything continues to be terrible, nothing changes. Have hope. You lose it. The type of threat indicates the general makeup of the enemy as well as any immediate bonuses they incur. Let's see, any immediate bonuses they incur. I thought hope is a sign of the mind has yet to face reality. It depends. Your mother and father, they are in heaven and become angels. Let's see. The type of threat indicates the general makeup of the enemy as well as any immediate bonuses they incur. They would. Indicates their base morale when confronted with overwhelming odds. An animal, actually a man may stand and fight, but break under pressure, while a horrifying abomination that doesn't feel pain may never break unless under extreme duress. Okay, so basic enemy design. So what do we want to do with here? Basic enemy type, description, EMP. So this is going to be the type emotional, mental, physical. Morale notes. Bangers. You're not gonna keep day bangers. So basic enemy types. So we'll actually say predator animal. We'll just say a predator. This thing is an animal. It's gonna fucking kill you. A human, right? Easy enough to understand. This is going to be a manifestation. Manifestations are in setting a expression of time, TM, time energy. It makes a lot more sense in context. Robot. Abomination. Herbivore. Actually, yeah, herbivore. Let's see, manifestation, robot, abomination, herbivore. What other types of horrible enemies can we encounter that would be fun and exciting for us to deal with? What is an herbivore? I guess prey? Like, I'm trying to think of, like... Again, film, realistic stories are weird sometimes. They don't seem realistic at all. Apparently, New Napoleon is a massive character assassin. Like a cuck loser. Yeah, I've heard that. What is an herbivore? I was thinking, like, it's not a predator animal. Like, they're gonna break a lot faster. That's kind of the idea. They're an animal that's gonna break a lot faster than a predator type. Like a jaguar isn't gonna run away if you, like, get a little bit of an advantage over it. But, like, you want to fight a fucking monkey, it's gonna be like, yeah, it doesn't want to fight. It's like, yeah, I'm scared. That's kind of the thing. Herbivore? Like, what would be a good... Herbivores could be fucking yeah, exactly. That's why I'm thinking, like, you could jack up an herbivore to be super tough. And, you know, just like, oh, hey, hello, hey, what you doing in there? Hey, moose. Hey, what you doing? You know, I don't want to fight a fucking giant moose. I'm going to get my shit rocked. I guess you would call it a, if a predator's a hostile animal, what would you call a docile animal? I guess we just called it an animal. Like, it's like specifically not a predator animal. Like a prey animal also doesn't sound very, I don't know how I would word that. You talk for Dragon. Your mother is a bitch. Not only do you treat you badly, take you by force. Docile? Docile, that's a good word. Oddities. We all like fighting demons and devils. What other? Okay, you know what? Predators. So, basic idea. We're just gonna go down the list. Like, we're gonna say humans begin breaking at 3. Manifestations break at 5. We'll say about 5. Robots do not break. Abominations break at 6. Docile break at 2. Oddities break at 1d6. You don't really know what the fuck they're gonna break. Demons do not break because they're like, I'm not gonna run away from a fight. If I'm in a fight with you, I don't want to actually get into a fight with you. Predators are gonna break at like human levels. Okay, so we're building our cores up. Very basic. So a basic human, we're gonna say, is going to have 5 in everything. This is the most basic. You know, basics. Actually, no, we can even do like +3, +3, +3. That's effectively minions up to about brute, up to about elites. They are not going to have full dice pools like you have. They're not going to have skills. They're not going to have anything like that. What they're going to have, though, is they're going to purely just have an emotional, mental, or physical health. They're just going to have that single pool. That's all they're going to have. They're not going to have skills. They're not going to have anything like that. That's going to be their thing. However, there's going to be little perks and little notes that they can pick up that are let them take those things if they want. Being like, oh, hey, you're skilled. That means you get a skill. If you have this, it's equal to whatever, whatever thing you're using, if it's appropriate. Hey, you have a gunslinger skill. Because you have the gunslinger skill, your physical is 6 anytime you're shooting a gun. If you have a 5, if you have a 4, your physical's 8. That's 86. They're kind of dangerous. You don't have that skill though. Predators are not going to be as smart. They're going to be a lot tougher though. Manifestations are going to be straight up stronger. Stronger than most, but manifestations are also weird. Abominations. Again, abominations are a little bit chaotic. You don't really know what the fuck they're going to do. Docile creatures are going to be a little bit stronger in these regards, but they're not going to have as high. Actually, there we go. Oddities. Out here, man is not king of the jungle. Human, a regular human being. It's as dangerous as anything else. Manifestation, a raw manifestation, a manifestation that has developed. Let's see, that has developed in our world. A robot, a contraption of metal and electricity, given life to kill. Abomination, a freak of nature. Needs to be stopped. Docile, a docile animal. Don't underestimate them though. Don't underestimate them though. Oddities. What the hell are these things? A demon, a trickster. Yeah, trickster. Trickster spirit. Okay, so we're doing this. So basically, this is what we're doing. Oh no, you're fighting an abomination. Roll all of these stats. That's going to be their bonus. Okay, so we've got what the type of threat is. Actually, what we can do. Why don't we explain what these things are actually fucking made of? That'd be a good idea. Guidebook layout. Every threat the mercenaries encounter is broken down into a set of modifiers and templates. Each of these will contribute to their base core, as most enemies encountered will not have their cores split up into traits like the mercenaries. Each core for a threat represents their full. Let's see. Each core for a threat represents their full dice pool. So if a threat has a mental of 4, they would roll 46. They would roll 46. Each threat does have benefits and drawbacks. Notably their ability does have let's see, actually each threat increase based on a set amount of 4 points instead of creating a regular character. This does mean that most enemies don't actually. This does mean. Actually, the threats modifiers and actually threats. Perks in it. What I end up calling call them perks. Tricks, that's it. That's a good word. A threat's tricks. A threat's tricks will enable them to perform a host of feats, as well as grant them specific talents they can leverage against the mercs. If they ever must spend core to perform an action. They would take it from their own. They would remove it as normal. They would remove it as normal. There we go. Just some very basic ideas. Certain tricks. More advanced enemy, actually, I should say, is more advanced threats may come to resemble the mercenaries often with even more devious plots and tricks to challenge the hero, to challenge our heroic team, various types of threats. We've got all of our very basic ones. What we can do here. So we don't really know what these are looking like. I'm getting pinged across the board. Why are people pinging this to me? You. It's only you. Felt supernatural, not demons. There's a okay. Yeah, we can call it supernatural. Manifest, like, in lore, manifestations are kind of supernatural beings. They're a little bit weird. Let's see. Urban. This point, if mortally wounded, you as an author, let him die. I do not. Keep torturing him. Sorry for activate dictionary now. I owe the rest of my English abilities often. Don't worry. Hey, Anna, I know it's brazen to ask, but I'm damn curious. Do you guys publish your stuff for free and don't monetize your YouTube channel? How do you make a living / earn your money? Not my business for sure, but I'd love to know. I make money doing things. That's all that needs to be known. I do have Patreon, though, so if you want to support me on Patreon, feel free to support me there. Wink. There's a few reasons. I publish... Some things aren't published for free. I am not Rin Tosaka. Thank you very much, Sterner. I do not pleasure old men for money. Those crystals don't pay for themselves. Dang, first thing I come here is a shill. You're goddamn right. The actual end, what are you cooking? Yeah, we're just having to do the enemy creation system. But, yeah, I do things. Have no fear. I'm a good person. I don't actually, I don't monetize the YouTube because I don't get enough views on it to even bother doing it. I am a subhuman cretin on the YouTube sphere because I don't make D&D content. Honest to God, if I just made D&D content, I could probably get pretty far because people would just say, "We like D&D." But I don't do that, and I just piss off indie developers. Let's see what else. I'm also afraid with the YouTube channel, if I monetize it, there will be a lot more scrutiny on the videos. And there will be a lot more, oh, well, you said something naughty. Because if you pay attention during the Wild Sea video, I post straight up hentai in it once. Just straight up porn. Like, just straight up actual pornography. I posted in the last Wild Sea video. And nobody commented on it yet, so I'm doing it right. Yeah, so that's one reason there. I've been meaning to publish more things for money, and there are a set of games that are entirely you have to buy at this point. You can go to my itch.io for that. Digital, yeah. Luckily, Digital Suicide. And again, this is the name of the work. I have to remind everyone this. I'm not saying a slur. I'm simply saying what it is. Digital Faggot Suicide Heaven would be something I wouldn't be able to do on the YouTube. By the way, what was the synopsis of that story? The thing with DFS 8 is that it's effectively someone who wants to kill themselves via digital suicide. But we live in a society, bottom text, and then they have gay sex in a they have transsexual gay sex in a bathroom stall in a nightclub. And this is the literal plot. It's a transsexual gay sex in a bathroom stall, and then they try to kill themselves again, and then it fails. Truly a work of all time. Yeah, mind you, I drank profusely throughout it. I got fucked up that night. Yeah, the lesbian beneath him, that was such a fucking weird experience. That, like, I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad. Truly a story of all time. So let's see. So, Let's see. Each type of threat is a modifier to the base core value of the threat. Certain types are more dangerous than others. Let's see. Certain types are more dangerous than others by what they are. However, a jaguar may be stronger than a human being, but a jaguar isn't going to be driving a car anytime soon. But a jaguar isn't going to be driving a car anytime soon. That's kind of the note. It's like, yeah, there are things like, yeah, this is a horrifying freak of nature, but a human can use a gun, which is a very powerful tool. The most powerful tool of all, the power of high-impact firearms. Maybe the real friend were the high-impact firearms we found along the way. Let's do... Human beings, robots, and certain oddities are free to use all gear available. Use all gear available to them. Depending on the vast resources, even a low-level minion a low-level goon of the enemy can be using some impressive firepower. While a what would be dangerous South American animals? Tell me more about horrifying animals. While an ancient crocodile may have razor sharp teeth, they won't be packing any heat, hopefully. There we go. Just some like very basic notes, being like, yeah, just kind of note that, like what we're actually dealing with here. Then we're gonna go immediately on to, we're going to be types, and we're going to be going on to difficulty. We're going to minions and cannon fodder. The wave tactic. With the robotic laying of twin auto grenade launchers because to fucking scare the shit out of my players. One of the biggest RPG channels doesn't do D&D. You'll get more views, I'm sure, if you keep going, but unsure how long it will take. Don't be afraid of a problem haven't occurred yet. Punishes by demonetization, no loose for you. Copyright strikes are a bigger pain, I guess. They really suck. See, fun fact, the Wild Sea video that just came out today, actually, you cannot view it in Russia. I do, if it is like a really big thing and like the music at the end of the video does like stop it from getting viewed in certain places, like the US or things like that, I usually change it. Why Russia? Group SME. They are a music group that sometimes I've got a few strikes, partially visible, and it'll be things like Cyprus, Turkey, and Russia. Sometimes it's like, oh, you can't view this in like Ukraine, India, and like Turkmenistan or something. It'd be like really weird places. Because it's just how music deals work. It was just because the music on the end of the Wild Sea video was kickback. Like that was literally it, and it was only Russia. I have no idea why. I know currently Beasthaven, which is actually I find kind of funny. I've got a few channels which I kind of compare myself to. I am slowly overtaking one. We're making, as I like to say in the hood, progress. Oh, I'm getting comments. Uh-oh. Let's see. Is there a good Marble RPG alternative? Let's see. Let's see. There's always the older variants of Cortex. And Phased Rip. Phased Rip. Let's see, live on air. Yeah, some games are so abstract. You feel like, wonder. Yeah, that tracks. Handbook is missing part where it tells the other you're supposed to be fun to play again. There we go. Yep. Let's see. Writing an idea until it's compelling enough. Only when you feel compelled thinking about it, you have to write it down and on paper. Continue doing that and write to circumstance you feel compelled to do it. You need to do it. Complete the game. You don't want to. Stuff that will never be compelled. This is, don't do that. Write everything down, because you're going to forget it, and then you're going to beat yourself up if you don't. Write it. So, minions. The wave tactic. A minion can best be described as cannon fodder, or during the diesel war, our brave soldiers. The minions can best be described as cannon fodder, or during the diesel war, our brave soldiers. Or during our brave soldiers. At their most basic, a minion is an entity that will be defeated in one or two strikes against their core. Let's see, one or two strikes against their core. They have no wounds or ability to. They have no wounds to help mitigate their problems. And often only have the support of numbers to confront the enemy. Those numbers are the real threat. Four minions are more than enough to overwhelm an unprepared mercenary. Let's see. The numbers are the real threat. 4 minions are more than enough to overwhelm an unprepared mercenary. With more well-to-do. with more well-to-do minions having a plethora of gear to become the faceless masses of a villain's arsenal. Of a villain's arsenal. Double check. Actually, any large amount of minions may be clumped together into a single squad to represent the combined force of dozens of a handful of these troopers of these troopers when it occurs. Number of troops in the squad. Thus a squad of 5 would have +5 of physical core. Would have +5 physical core. Let's see. We want to do. So as a minion, we're just going to do. So. No, okay. Type, we're going to do, if we do right. Go. There's a very particular way I want to do this, and it's not going to look good. 1.2, 1.25, 1.5, there we go. Grunt 0, 0, +3. Techie 0, +3, 0. Portier +3, 0, 0. Handyman +1, +1, +1. Yeah, like, yeah, you're fighting a courtier. What's a courtier minion? It's this. Actually, I should say, each minion, each type. Yeah, there are 4. Let's see. There are 4 types. There are 4 types of minions, each granting a flat bonus to one of their. Let's see. Each granting a flat bonus to their cores. To their cores. Rarely will minions be afforded anything more than that. Let's see. Rarely will minions be afforded anything more than that. Oddball 0001. They get a trick. Yep, that's gonna be their gimmick. They have a trick. Really, will minions be afforded anything more than that? It's their job to feed the ravenous lion pens. Anyway, so we're going to that, but then we're going to provide... We're going to put that right here. We're going to provide 3 examples. Do 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 do. Sky Pirate. Human, Gremlin. A sludgy, an abomination. A Sky Pirate. A human has, let's see, 3s across the board. Let's see, so they're going to be human grunt. Supernatural, techie. Abomination oddball. Okay, so let's do, so Sky Pirate, the Gremlin is going to be a supernatural. We look at the supernatural thing here, 552. And as a techie, it gets 3 additional mental. That's all it's going to get. And as an abomination, abominations get 1d6, so it's going to have 1d6, 1d6, and 1d6. We don't really know what a sludgy is going to have because that's the entire thing with sludgies. That they're supposed to be, these things are weird freaks of nature. What do we do? Answer is run. Actually, no, let's do a sludgy. So this is going to be 2 to 7, 2 to 7, 2 to 7. Yeah, so a sludgy might have literally 7 in everything, just as much as they might have a 2 in everything. There we go. So we understand what how a minion functions. So let's go down to a... Oh goodness. I mean, you're not big on horror when you play Signalis. You may other people watch Madly Bad as Heater but don't like horror a lot. At the moment studying an RPG like a maniac because life's challenge drove me away from the hobby somehow 10 years ago. Got sucked back in, now more obsessed than the past time 6 months. Yeah, the last 10-15 years of RPG has been a interesting experience. Everybody and their mother plays nowadays. Everyone and their mother plays D&D 5th edition. That's a very distinctive note. You made it. You're all done. No, we got a ways to go still. We gotta write all this fucking shit. I'm ready. Mm. Mm. The big guys. So, let's see. Brutes are threats. Let's see. Brutes are threats that are bigger, tougher, and not all that much bigger, tougher, and not all much more intimidating. And not all unperforming their particular job more than anything. Actually, we don't. A brute may be. What would be a good way? Like, what would you call like a specialist? What do I end up calling you? I call them brutes here. I guess like specialist would be another way of wording it. Actually, I know it. I know what we call henchmen. Henchmen are threats that are bigger, tougher, and often more specialized than their fodder prone minions. However, they have yet to rise through the ranks to properly distinguish themselves among their compatriots. They are advanced minions that have more tools and resources at their disposal, as well as tricks. Henchmen, the big guys. A henchman has a minion is, let's say a human minion is going to have on default 369 plus 3, that'll be 12 effectively. They're going to have on average about 12 with an average die pool of about 4. They're going to have about 4 or 5. So we want the henchmen to be stronger. We want them to have more abilities. We want them to be able to do more things. So if the henchman is going to be able to do more things, we're going to have to increase the number of dice they have across the board. Now we can either assign templates or we can just give them a okay. Actually, let's see. A henchman has the let's see. A henchman is allowed to distribute a set of core similar to let's see, set of core to would be 3. We'll say 5. They get 5. Actually, no, they're going to get 6. They're going to be double as strong. So a henchman is allowed to distribute 6 core to any they will 6 points among any of their cores, allowing any of their cores, each of which allows them greater diversity and adaptability in comparison to a regular minion who comparison to a regular minion. Each henchman is also allowed to take a trick of their choice to differentiate themselves from the rabble. Below are a set of example henchman archetypes when creating a threat. These are not mandatory as the minion types are. These are not mandatory as the minion class, not mandatory like a minion class. Not mandatory like a minion class. No. Yep. So henchmen have a little bit more diversification, and we automatically know they are going to get one of these. They're going to choose whatever they want. We're going to select everything here, and it immediately breaks. Hallelujah. I love Google Docs. It's my favorite. I swear to God. Sorry if I'm not responding. This is called being very focused. See, there we go. So these are going to be our archetypes. So we want to have a hitman. We want to have, actually, let's go to evil genius too, because we like evil genius. So let's see. Hitmen, brawlers, 2 soldiers, hitmen, brawlers, actually no, hitmen, thugs, diplomats. What would be a good like, oh, you're a smooth talker, like, yeah, ha, I'm gonna fucking charlatan. There we go. Charlatan's a good word. Charlatan. Now we need 2 smarty pants guys. Smarty pants. Socialites, spin doctors. Technician. So, okay. Basic ideas. We've got all of these. We've got 6 points to distribute. Hitmen are going to be +4, +2. They get 1 trick. Everyone gets 1 trick of their choice. You're going to get +5, but you're also going to get +1 physical. Thugs are really good at fighting people. Diplomats are going diplomats are going to +3, +3. Charlatans are going to get +4, +2, +1, +1. Technicians are going to get are going to get 0, +5, +1. So actually, we can do +2, +4. Scientists are going to get +2, +4. Kind of the, like, your basic lackey. He's always like, yeah, your lackey is gonna... What's your lackey gonna do? The lackey's gonna be the everyman. He's gonna show up, he's gonna be a nice, easy, simple template for everyone to use, and he's a jackass, and nobody likes him. I'm gonna try something here real fast. I'm gonna set that up like this. That does keep it. Interesting. It's a very weird thing to note, but looks like you can maintain the tables if you don't copy it like this. Instead, you copy it as if it was indented in the line. Actually, we want to do, we want to do, what would be a, a predator hitman. Yes, of course. What's a predator? There we go. As a hitman, he gets 4 mental, and he would have 2 emotional, 4 mental, and his physical as a hitman would be 9. Yeah, you want to fight a fucking velociraptor? Now's your chance. Oddity. And he's a technician, so he would have 8-6, 8-6-4. Let's see. We want to do actually, no, we want to have, what would be, robot charlatan. Of course, a robotic femme fatale who wants nothing more than to destroy us using a gun. 'Cause she's a fucking robot. Damn, how could we have let this gone through? Who could this person be? Fix that unaligned mental stat. Truly cursed. What do you mean unaligned mental stat? Everything should be set up, right? Something's not slightly out of place. Oh no. Uh-oh. And so it's now getting an overview impression, decide to really read some. One of them is your favorite child, one you recommend, or if you can't recommend, one you get pissed fast if someone talks shit about it. See, if you want to see my my true descent into madness, that would be Metal Saviors. I dumped too much time into Metal Saviors, and that is my darling baby child that I literally did an entire video talking about and how it mentally broke me. Probably if you were to say oh, what's the game is your favorite game? It's always funny anytime people ask me that, like, what's the game you love more? What's your favorite game? What's your favorite game? I always find that to be such a unique idea because I like all my games. Obviously, some are a little bit more equal than others on that love. Some projects I just take time with, and I'm like, yeah. I think the thing with it is like some games I hit a flow state with a lot easier. Other games I don't, and there are some games like I want to return to. I want to go back. I want to fix everything up. I want to be good. Like Iuducius Lux. I want to go back to that game and make it 10 times better. Yes, even ANCAP, Cat Trap, Magical Cat Boy Adventures on the Lost Island of Thule. Yes, of course. Because it was such a fucking meme game. It's also an Advance War. Or that one gotcha that you ended up deleting. God, which one? That was... Guy is still on. Blue Archive is still up there. I have the Blue Archive one pulled up right now, actually. That was entirely because I got really pissed. How the fuck are you even supposed to play ANCAP anyway? ANCAP, Cat Trap, Magical Cat Boy Adventures in the Lost Island of Thule is played effectively in phases. You build up your little base at one point, you engage in diplomacy with other groups, with other factions, and then usually there's a crisis involving you going to play an Advanced Wars game. Because at its core, it's literally just Advanced Wars on the table. There's just a lot of maintenance behind. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff with that one. They've got a name now. Elites, they've got a name now. What would be a good actual term here? What is the one thing that you're surprised people haven't made for 5e? Generally speaking, people have made pretty much everything you can make for 5e. They've even regressed into making it 4e at some points. Like, it's really impressive. Generally speaking, though, like, no one's really made anything that, like, that I would be like, oh, I'm surprised you haven't made, because they've probably made it. Doesn't mean it's good. It just means, like, yeah. Hell, I can't even say, like, oh, well, there's probably no cyberpunk variant, because someone in here, is that right, Ethical? Someone's Carbon 2185 truly is a 5e game. Even down to having spells be fucking hacks. It's great. I love it. Ooh, 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 ooh. always no maxing. So they made 5e into Pathfinder with all the fan content. Yeah, to a degree. I can also guarantee you. What's the name again? I'll type it in the chat. It's Metal Saviors. That's my nightmare. That's my main nightmare. If you want the give me what? That's the Advanced Wars one. And Cat Trap Magical Catboy Adventures on the Lost Island of Thule. If you go to my website, which it should be linked, hopefully, you'll actually find that in the when I go over the commissions, because I got paid money for that one, by the way. I can also guarantee you, Lubu, I can guarantee you, there is at least one person out there who has converted most of Pathfinder into 5e. I can guarantee you there's a Golarion 5e book out there. And it is the most cursed thing imaginable, knowing that, and I find that very funny. And in case you're wondering, Lubu, I'm always Mickey Mouse. Oh! Donald! You open the door to her. I can't even do it. Can't do my voice. I used to be able to do a really good Mickey Mouse voice very consistently. You're going to open the door to darkness. I can't do it anymore. My voice, it's gone. See, anytime you need a laugh, any of you ever need to be just like have a good guffaw, just listen to the Mickey Mouse scenes of Kingdom Hearts. Because in Kingdom Hearts, Mickey Mouse is a hard ass. He is like he's fucking Jesus Christ at some points. And you'll have Mickey Mouse talk about how he is like has to seal Satan away at the door of darkness, and it's fucking Mickey Mouse. 5e is the most boring system with the most impressive community output, I guess. 5e is I've described 5e a lot of different ways, but 5e is the most reliable game of doing one thing, and that's killing goblins. Killing goblins in a cave to steal their money. The thing is with 5e, and I've mused on this in other streams before, is that it is what a lot of people assume to be the default of like all RPGs. Because if you really notice how people talk about role-playing games, you can almost always find the moniker of, it's like 5e but, or instead of 5e, it's this. Instead of this, it's 5e. Like, 5e is always kind of used as a baseline or as a comparison piece. And you can go throughout history and you can really identify points in time. It's just like, when they do the RPG episode in a children's show, what do they play? I can guarantee you they're not playing fucking Traveler. They're playing D&D, or they're playing Dungeons and More Dungeons, or whatever. They're playing a variant of D&D, or they're making a joke about D&D, or there are so many. They are never playing another game, and that's, to a lot of people, that Psych is D&D. D&D is the default. If you say TTRPG, you can, sub it out for that. It's one of those things. Even my mom, and it's really funny. My mom I've gotten my mom to the point where she doesn't refer to things as D&D. Like, oh, you're making a D&D game. The number of times, it took a while because that's just what she knew, and it's like, yeah. And now it's funny when she is talking to people at work, because she, where she works, she has a bunch of people about our age, about my age, 20, late 20s-ish. And it's funny because they assume also everything is D&D. And when she explains, like, oh yeah, my son makes these, makes these RPGs, these table RPGs. They're like, oh, like D&D, and she has to correct them, and it's really funny. But yeah, no, D&D, is so big because they really opened up all the content with the D20 license, and you can make a lot of money off of it, and you can't really with other things. And most major competition, as well there, Beasthoven, is dead. Most other competition got shot in the back of the head, unfortunately. You might remember White Wolf. White Wolf is dead. White Wolf has been dead like 18 times over. Well, I'm German and I'm 40. D&D got thing here somehow in the past 10 years because the rest of the world loves it. Well, actually, it was, yeah, you guys have a Dark Eye. Yeah, you've got... You had a... Fuck, what's the... Yeah, you had Dark Eye, but apparently... This is from another German, mind you, so you might be able to help me out here. You may be able to confirm, but this is from another German. Is the last edition of Dark Eye didn't do really hot? And it wasn't really good. That's what I heard from them, being like, yeah, last edition of Dark Eye kind of underperformed, and then everyone just shifted over to 5e. And it's like, oof. I do have Dark Eye, actually, in one of my case files. I want to go it over with a bunch of other European games. Because there are a lot of European games. Like, that's one of the fun things. There are a shit ton of Euro games. But a lot of them died, or a lot of them kind of got put into different places. You might also know, fuck, what's... God damn it, I'm gonna forget the name. Drakkar, you also might know Drakkar Akdaman, Drakkar Akdamanor. You might know this one. This is a Swedish RPG. Dragonbane, I think that's the... Dragonbane is the English title, but this cover might look familiar to you. If my fucking... That's me! This cover might look familiar. The fucking cycle that this poor game has gone through is not pretty. Yes, Dragonbane. Yeah, that... Yes, Dragonbane legitimately had Elric on it. This was Swedish D&D. Fun fact, this was Swedish D&D for a very long time. This was their version of it, just because of licensing and rights and things like that. This was actually their most popular RPG for a very long time. There was a lot of issues with it, and you might be looking at the artwork being like, hey, doesn't this look... Some of this art looks like it's from Rune Masters. We did a video on that about 2 weeks ago. By the same company. Formerly by the same company. It gets a lot... weirder, and if you remember, we were talking about how Conan and technically Cult is owned by Tencent. This was one of those games that got passed around. I don't believe Drakkar Akdamanor is owned by Tencent, but it almost was. Now I think Free League puts it out. Yeah, there was a... We truly live in interesting times. Let's see, Elite. Let's see. Elites are the threats that others look up to. Truly powerful entities that can leverage... their authority. They can leverage their authority with... The elites are the threats the others look up to. Truly powerful entities can leverage their authority. They can leverage their authority, The that begins to have names as they are on the same caliber as they are on the same caliber as the mercenaries. On the mercenaries themselves, these they may unlike their lesser peer, unlike their lesser peers, they have access to quirks. They will start with one quirk. They can leverage. They can leverage similar to the mercenary, as well as two skills to separate them out. Unlike the mercenaries' skills, a elite skill is keyed to a unlike mercenary skill. A elite skill is key to a core, and when it comes up, it will double the value. Let's see, when it comes up, it will double the value, double the number of dice rolled for that check. Dangerous individuals. Turn the tide of a battle by themselves. However, they only have let's see, 3. They only have an additional 8 core to spend, but with 2 quirks, they can be truly dangerous if left unattended. The core, similar to henchmen, they've got names now. Elites do not have set classes. Do not have set classes. Instead, they are free to choose an archetype, or simply they are free to choose an archetype if they wish. There we go. Best discovery of my fucking life. It seemed unnecessary to complicate, like streamline the old rules and added a bunch of new combat stuff, but since I don't know the 4E version from before, I'm really the wrong guy to ask. The Tolkien version of Dark Eye and D&D gets boring after some decades into fantasy fiction. Lots of rumor about Dragonbane at the moment. Is it good? Lots of rumor. Dragonbane, I've gone over a little bit of Drakkar Octamon, the Menor. Little bit. As much as I can, kind of thing. And if Ruin Masters is to go anything off of, it's more based off BRP. If you've ever read Call of Cthulhu, or Mithras, or RuneQuest, it's based off of that system. It's a little bit simpler than it, though. Seems interesting. I'm curious what Free League is going to do with it. I don't think it's out. It might be. I don't know. Who knows? I'm not qualified to ask. You people think I know what I'm doing? Let's see. So we want to do Assassin. Hired gun. we want to do have more social aspects to it. Would be some more social ones. It would be it's mental. 24244. 244 assassin, 0 emotional. 44 hired gun, 206. Justicar 530 actually. 322. 368. The huckster actually do 620. Genius 7. The witch is going to have 440. No. That we do sort table, sort ascending. So at this point, what we get to do is we get to add a column to the right. This, and we're going to add skills in. So what do we want to add? Let's see, what kind of crazy monsters can we think of today? Duke Killdozer, we'll do a human, a hired gun. Killdozer. Hey, what's your name? Name's Duke. Actually, I know we'll do Red Lotus Ninja. Let's do a it's a good name. Nagul. Our shapeshift into other things, so we're going to be doing Nagul, which is going to be a manifestation, and it's going to be a witch. And then we're going to be doing a, let's see, what would be a funny, what would be a big docile animal? That would be something, South American animals. Tell me something that we can throw in and just to throw people off that we wouldn't want to mess with. Giant anteater, of course. Oh, Red Lotus Ninja. Of course, we're gonna fight a ninja. Why in God's world, if I'm making an assumption to do this, why would I not want to just make just fight a fucking ninja? Why not? There's no reason that I am compelled to not to do this. So, as a human, Actually, do. Kalima. Let's see. So what do we want? So let me. So the giant mercenary anteater would have 5, and this would be 7. 4, 5, 7. Giant anteater, of course, and he's going to have brawler, and he would also have what would be another good skill for him? Be a good. Yeah, we got this. Confidant. Everybody likes the confidant. So you would have magician and mystic. And the Red Lotus would have gangster and gangster and harlequin. There we go, because they're all about deceiving you. Giant capybara. But Titan City has a working build of city. You can actually run it out, so that's fun. Glad to see that Kickstarter actually getting to the point. That's good. Llama copy of Condor. What the fuck is Zombicide Disease board game expansion on Kickstarter? That shit would print money. Well, actually, fun fact, it's because, come on, CMON. That's their main business model. They make a shit ton of money using Zombicide stuff. It's actually quite ingenious. My only problem with D&D and Pathfinder is the class system dominating everything. I mean, maybe I'm misjudging, but it seems like a care sheet variation, the same class, is mostly by failing. Not by failure, right? You'll never meet a warrior with charismatic that strong. Dark is this totally fine. Yeah, it's. How do I want to word this? The class thing has really come to dominate. It's a lot of sacred cows in that regard. And it's like, you can make a charismatic warrior in D&D. You totally can. You will be horribly unoptimized and you shouldn't, but you can. Those used to pop up a lot more common in the before times. See, yeah, like wisdom or intelligence. Yeah, wisdom and intelligence is really good if you're playing a caster, that is, because that's your spell casting modifier. And charisma is also, again, hey, this is your spell casting modifier, not really like any of that. It's like skill checks are always going to be like a secondary thing. So yeah, that's kind of just the nature of the unfortunate reality of the situation. Let's see, it's 8, 8. Actually, no, this would be 10, 10, 5. The Nagul is really scary because he's going to be rolling. If he's quite literally casting spells, the Nagul is going to be rolling 20d6. Do not let this man cast magic at you, because if he casts magic at you, he's going to maul you. Get his grimoire away from him. He is a very dangerous manifestation. But that's the entire point. As an assassin, they have 3, 7. Yeah, they're trying to deceive you. They're actually getting a lot of things here. They're trying to trick you up. Red Lotus assassins are pretty good on that. The giant anteater can roll 14d6 to beat the shit out of you, though. So don't fight him. He's a big nice creature. Don't fight him. You're going to die. They've got a name now. And we're going to do our final one, which is a... The boss is a unique entity, and the boss is a unique entity, a powerful and imposing figure that when they take the field, is more powerful than any of their lesser subordinates. Not only do they have three quirks like a mercenary, not only do they have three quirks like a mercenary, three skills to enhance their abilities, and a whopping 10 points in their cores. They will and then a whopping 10 points in their cores, as well as three tricks. They have something far more valuable than the mercenaries. Far more valuable. They can freely they will scale. They track the mercenaries. In simpler terms, whenever the mercenaries are awarded an advancement, the boss will also gain an advancement. They will increase grants them the same tricks, the same benefits as a mercenary would gain. By spending advancements. This grants them the same benefit as a mercenary would gain by spending advancements, including purchasing their own feats and abilities from the mercenary list, as well as any trick they wish. However, there's a catch. Bosses do not gain deeds like a merc would, or do not gain deeds like a merc would. However, there's a catch. A boss also has a curse, similar to the mercenaries themselves. Discovering this fatal flaw may be the only way to defeat such a mighty foe. There we go. They're not even going to get a list. Hmm. So effectively, their main thing is that bosses get a bunch of bonuses. I'm surprised Wizards even put out anything for 5. Given all the community content that's better than they can milk. But they in Shadowrun, except have similar issues, to be fair. Although Pearl turning me off hit point pools, Dark Eye has too. The more hit points, the log fights, leveling up, right? Damn, my keyboard's up. Yeah, don't worry about your English. Also, as a German, you can't say shit about Shadowrun. Thank you very much. You guys get the good Shadowrun. See, that's also one that is a funny thing. You probably saw. I wouldn't be surprised during your research you saw it. But the German publishers of Shadowrun actually get a bunch of special benefits, like being able to correct a bunch of things. Yeah, in Germany, effectively what happened in Shadowrun was when they were sending it off to Germany, they were like, oh hey, we want to do a thing wherever we send Shadowrun out to, we want them to make it more for them. So the German company who picked it up was like, oh cool, we can do whatever we want with the book, right? And they're like, yeah, this is the FASA era back in the 80s. And they're like, yeah, totally, you can do it. The Germans got really weird and legitimately fixed everything. Any typo, any any little wording issue, any like anything they noticed that was like broken or didn't work the way they wanted, they fixed. So if in a lot of Shadowrun communities, the idea of the German version is usually the better version of the game. It just happens to be in German. It's just one of those funny, unique quirks. Modify to improve things in a way people didn't take account for what they would do. Exactly. That's the funny thing with the German Shadowrun. But that's also how we ended up with Japanese Shadowrun. Which will never not be the... I want you to remember, this is the actual cover of the Japanese Shadowrun book. This is the actual cover. As you can somewhat see, they made it very anime. Because of course they did, because why wouldn't they? Because Shadowrun is actually fairly popular in Japan. This is actually a fairly recent book that came out. Yeah, for 5th edition, mind you. People were talking about this. Yes, this came out literally today, apparently. This came out relatively soon, as you can see, expected to release. The Shadowrun 5th edition codex came out a few days ago, not 6th edition, because remember, we're on Shadow 6th edition. They're still on 5th. They changed mechanics too. Like, they changed some mechanics, not everything. Effectively, like, some things in the earlier versions they would do is, like, there were exploits you could do to make yourself immortal very easily. So they would like, yeah, let's just patch those out. Or, hey, let's make things actually worded correctly so you can't break the game and combat flows correctly. It doesn't, it's not a lot of, like, winging it. There's lists of things you can do in the, how the Germans fix things. To the point, I know Shadowrun 4th edition, you effectively need the German version to get the actual intended play experience, because if you don't, 4th edition doesn't work very well. Honestly, Shadowrun just makes fucking sense to me. Like, isn't the original basis just pure anime? Not really. The thing with, like, the original Shadowrun, like, that was much more Gibson. It's effectively Tolkien meets Gibson. That's the entire basis of the early Shadowrun. But early Shadowrun also looks amazing, even though it was very silly. was very Western, very 80s, aggressively 80s. Japanese and Germans break unintentionally. It broke the ego of every FASA developer. I remember that. Because, like, the thing is, what occurred a vast majority of the time when they changed things over, because, like, in German Shadowrun, the base setting isn't Seattle, it's Berlin. Because of fucking course it would be Berlin. In Japan, Tokyo is the main setting. But the thing is, they changed the lore alongside it. Because because in Shadowrun lore, Europe is a shit show, like just a complete fucking nightmare. They obviously make it slightly better in the German version. In Japan, literally Japan in American Shadowrun is a mega racist and hates everyone. However, in Japanese Shadowrun, Japan is the greatest place on Earth, and it's awesome, and everyone likes it, and be Shadowrun as fuck. That's the main thing there. Okay, so how do we want to do this? Okay, so we've gotten this far. We're creating that. We need to do the list of tricks. Big list of tricks. Enemies. When threats are being, let's see, when threat. Let's see. These tricks may mimic the effect of the mercenary's own feats and abilities. Let's see. Unless otherwise stated, these cannot be more than, they cannot be taken more than once. Okay, so we're gonna go up here, and what we're gonna do is actually should do put a cost here. We're gonna go all the way up, and we're just gonna look at we're gonna take a quick gander. Spells. So we're just going to just take a quick look here. What do we I'm trying to think of, like, how do we want to do this? Okay, you know what we can do? Let's do We're gonna put that right here for now, but what I need to do is, let's see, a whopping 10 points. Two wounds per core, and 2 skills to separate them out. So these guys actually get wounds, these ones do not. Tricks. So what do we want to do? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna all of the feats. Bump 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 bump. So what we're gonna do is magician. Hey, henchman with 1. Let's see, and begin with a grimoire. Let's see, threat can cast spells and begins with a grimoire. Minions have 1 spell. Henchmen have 1 spell, gesture, and glyph. Elites have 2 spells, 2 gestures, and 2 glyphs. A boss has let's see, it has 2 spells, 2 gestures, and 1 glyph. Has a full grimoire. So they can just choose whatever they want. That's the entire thing. Okay, so you want to know why I'm doing this? It's totally so I can then do that. So we don't really do that. Let's think of some. Actually, no. Okay, skilled right off the bat, and the threat gains a skill of their choice. They will double their core value in check related to the skill. Let's see what are some things I put in here? Actually, let's get rid of this table. Let's just go from the top. Fuck it. Let's just go from the exact top of the board and see what we can do. Let's just go down and see what we have to work with. Most of them will only have 3, so we can work with that. Holy shit, my home sucks outside of America. 4th and 6th rely somehow. 5th and 6th are... The 6th edition is weird. 6th edition is very weird. Everyone does that. It's never done outside your national or regional group. Yeah. always treat the game like those tax laws need to be exploited. You sure exploit the shit out of it. Oh, I never forget when Chummer jumped catching a rocket aimed at his new bike and mitigated damage to the scratch. Yeah, I never said Shadowrun was perfect. Okay, so... So they don't have any traits to work with. We already have cores to worry about. Skill sets. We already have skilled. So we're already going to have skilled right off the bat. So that's one thing we already can worry about. We already have that. Quirks. Some of them have quirks. We're going to do expand quirks. Expand quirk. If the threat has a quirk, adopt a second aspect to it. They can do different things like that. Actually, we can do rally call. Tap X. We'll do cost 3. Reduce the cohesion. Reduce the momentum. Actually, increase momentum. Increase momentum by 1. Easy enough to understand. Wounds. Tough it out. Increased wounds by +2. Increased wounds by +1, +2, +1, +2. Remove penalties when taking a wound, so you just don't actually take any wounds. Jagged Alliance. So descent. Cost 3. Lower cohesion by 1. Lower mercenary cohesion by 1. We'll do cost 2. We'll do cost 2. Reroll all failures on a single check. We'll do conspiracy. We'll call it like conspiracy of fate or something. See, generation. Move this trick. We don't need anything on investigations. That's not really themselves. Confrontations. Do they get any bonuses for confrontations? Devils do. Yep, this Devil's Due. You get +1 mark right off the bat. When issuing a threat. Double trouble. Trouble. Let's see. So, well, actually, we can do big treat as size 2, huge treat as size 3, gargantuan treat as size 4, treat as actually, treat is size 4. 20 durability, so pretty much they have like over health effectively. We're giving them a little bit of over health. Small. Treat as size 0. Features. Let's see. Actually, defensive, increase defense by +1. Defense, actually, say, increase base defense, defense to 2. Hazardous terrain, protection suit, no, we don't need large entities. Tars, terrifying manifestation takes. Holy moly! Huge would be treat as size 4. Size 8. Holy moly, that thing's a bloody monster. There we go. See, momentum and morale. So momentum. Quick finger. Gain a second action and gain a second action and reaction. So you just get a double thing. Henchman or above. So so goodness gracious. I play nowadays color code attributes to roll color 20 d20 dice pools. What a pleasant surprise you the most? Like going into it, thought it would be mid or shit. Recently ECU. I'll say that. ECU turned out to be a lot of fun. I did enjoy it. When when the adversarial die system clicked. When it clicked for me, I was like, oh, that's it. This is how it fucking works. Oh, I understand this completely now. I actually thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it a lot. My video, I'm a little critical of it, but that's what you should be about things you like. If you find something you enjoy, be critical of it, because you want it to get better. That's the main thing. It's just like, I want this to be even better now, so I'm going to be critical of it. And I'm excited for the sequel. I will go over the sequel when it comes out. Let's see. Nomad, tomorrow is the Riddle of Steel plus successors. For only people that want to sit on the throne of the Riddle of Steel. Also, I feel more confidence in this big fucking idiots. I'm trying to make rules work in my head. One of the things is we're going to go over Riddle of Steel and its successors. It's really interesting because it's like there's kind of like the main successor, which is Blade of the Iron Throne, and if you ever want a cursed fucking franchise, it is the Riddle of Steel franchise. That entire thing is so goddamn cursed. It's really interesting. Like, everything around it is just various degrees of fucked up. It's very, like, oh no. I'm nuclear. Buff up, cost 3. Cost 3, vehicle combat. We're not really going to worry about vehicle combat because generally that's kind of its own pretty self-contained thing. Actually, we can do The black gun. Threat has a weapon with +2 slots. Plus loose slots to outfit it. Outfitted better. If the mercenaries find this weapon, it loses the slots. Yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, you just have you have a better gun, because you just have a naturally a better weapon or something like that you wouldn't normally be able to do. Flash bulb. Gear, various gear. We don't really about that. Vehicles. We don't really need to worry about vehicles all too much. Meth weapon mods again. That's not really too bad. We can worry about that. That's kind of its own thing. We already kind of have like what spells kind of work with. Here for a paycheck. Advancement. Let's see. I want to use for some things here. So heroics, just scratch, personal, pocket of hood. What do I actually have up here? Attachment. Let's see. Let's just add some over here. Let's see. Me using so far aggressive movement, durable, deal +1 damage. Let's see. Inflict condition, kitted out, master and commander. Obviously, it's like, yeah, you can spend it to do that. Indian master. Mm. Booster shot. Increase a core by +1. That's a let's see, they take 2. Yep, so and a quirk NA. The threat has developed a quirk. Adopt a second aspect to that quirk. Sorry if I'm not responding to anything. This is just called hyper focus now. Rally call 3 emotion. Emo 3. That rally kill can be very dangerous. Doesn't cost too much. Tough it out. Any toughen up. Power and pain. Receive no penalties to be for being wounded. For being wounded. The threat receives no penalties for being wounded. There we go. So descend. Would be emo 4, men 4. During combat or confrontation, lower total mercenary cohesion by 1 to a minimum of 1. So you're just lowering their cohesion. You can't go to 0 with it. They can't take it away from you, but it's like, ugh. I'm glad everyone still hates Zweihander. Zweihander is pain. I did a big rant on Zweihander recently, actually. In the past, I only GM'd heist games like Shadowrun because I like the GM fantasy. In future settings, I designed city sandbox for fantasy. I railroaded the shit out of my group and bored them. That is, yeah, like the thing with certain games, like fucking fantasy. I have an issue with fantasy. I've done a video on why I have an issue with fantasy. I find it really difficult for me to do things in fantasy for some reason. That's just something I'm not. That's not my particular thing. And so kind of I get what you're talking about, you know, with it. I understand. I don't know about it. It always fucks me up. Maybe I just became broke on Exalted. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. 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 So it's like, yeah, effectively dramatic end lets you like keep someone alive even though they shouldn't. Devils do. Mm. Mm. Ara. Mm. Mm. Double trouble. Actually, we'll need to do men. Actually, we'll do men to add another threat when making a threat during a confrontation. So pretty much, it forces you to put, it allows you to put two things down, which is kind of like the big fuck you. Like, yeah, hey, I'm legitimately going to just make your life worse. Because law lamau, kek lamau, as they say. Large NA, increase the size type of the threat to 2. Gain 10 durability. Gain 10 durability. That must be gain 10 durability. Top of all 4s. Which brings us to huge NA. Increase the size type of the threat to 4. Gain 20 durability. Durability on top of all of the cores. Gargantuan. There's no cost to it, obviously. Size 8. You gain 40 durability to everything. Small enemy. Of the use out. Defensive A. By 3. Then gain a second action and reaction. In a second action and reaction. In a second action, if this is an elite or boss, gain a second reaction. In a second reaction. Natural trick grants a natural weapon. Grant a natural weapon to the threat that can never be disarmed. All predators begin with natural weapon of their choice. With a natural weapon of choice. as you can see, there's a few more. Breath of life, NA. At the end of the round, or next statement, increase all cores by 1, but do not restore any. Elemental NA. The threat has a natural elemental damage type of their choice. All manifestations and supernatural entities, supernatural threats begin with this. Chrono anomaly, NA. Access to every spell, every gesture, and every glyph, at once. Only supernatural and manifestations. Choose trick. To, like, yeah, you have access to every spell at once, you fucking nightmare. Resistance and the threat has a natural elemental resistance of their choice. All manifestations and supernatural threats begin with this. If a manifestation or supernatural threat begins with this, has this, they gain weakness to its diametric, they gain weakness to another element. So it's like, hey, you've got a weakness to this other one. However, restoration, doesn't matter, whatever you spend. Clear all active negative conditions on a threat. Finger of Death, core. This is going to be Men 3. Choose a mercenary within range 0 to 2, and immediately click them with a single type of condition chosen and taken. Buff up. Emo 3. The threat chooses an ally within 0 to 2 and grants them a positive condition of their choice when this is taken. The Black Gun. The threat has a weapon, any type with +2 slots to outfit it. If the mercenaries recover this weapon, it loses 1 slot. Hardened. go. We do that. Explosion prone. Master Commander. Master Commander. Mm. 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 All minions have +1d twist to all actions while in the same zone. Can only be taken by a henchman or better. Actually, if this is taken by an elite or boss, increase this to 2d twist. 2d twists. The wall. Bum bum bum. Not be moved away from. Deadly assassin. Threat when left alone cannot be targeted. Booster shot, which is going to be increase a core by 1. All right, a big list of tricks. All right, so let's hit this button. All right, let's do. Okay, we do this. Oh goodness, that's a lot. Let's see. Explain the gumshoe method to me. Exalted, one of those few systems I don't understand, even trying to overview and unable to decide if to study or run. Go over, read Exalted 3E, and just study it, and just understand that it is poorly written. It's great. Oh, the Alexandrian. I know who you're talking about. I know exactly who you are talking about. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yes, I do know Justin Alexander. I was wondering, like, who the fuck are you talking about? It can't be it. I'm like, yeah, I guess it would be. I'm much too small to be in that same boat. I am a tiny nothing burger compared to that man. Okay, so we've got all of our various abilities, fucking as best as they're getting currently. So if we want to make just a sample, I want to make like so if we're dealing with, we're gonna take damaging. A little bit. There we go. A Nagul, a manifestation witch. So if we're dealing with a manifestation witch, they would take They would have Chrono Anomaly right off the bat effect. They would start with Chrono Anomaly. And they would also have Elemental Chromatic. Finger of Death. They would have Finger of Death, and it's going to be Hex. It's going to be their entire thing. That's their gimmick, is that they are incredibly dangerous. Three. Yep. And the giant anteater. What would the giant anteater have? Well, obviously, he's going to be huge. He's going to be huge. And he is also going to have the... He's also going to have a natural weapon. Yep, he has a natural weapon right off the bat. Because he's a giant anteater. Because he can do that. So let's see. What would the Velociraptor have? What would a Velociraptor have? Well, I think that the Velociraptor would have Deadly Dance. He would have Deadly Dance right off the bat. Let's see. What would... Threatening Aura. So he would have Deadly Dance. He would have Threatening Aura, and the Gray would have Fast on the Draw. Kind of being like, yeah, he's an alien, he's gonna quickly draw his gun, and he's gonna shoot you, and he's gonna kill you. It's like, oh no! They don't have any, except the Oddball. But they would have no tricks, because they're boring. So there we go. A very basic set of ability to create things. 88 pages. Let me fix... Ooh, select everything here. We then go to Archivo, and then we bump you up to 12. We need to do this. That should be roughly everything. Ooh, of course, there's probably some... There's probably some little things I'm missing. I'm not going to lie. There's probably something I'm missing. And there's probably some things I could fix up with it. But overall, I think we're done. Oh goodness, there's a lot of comments here. I'm not ignoring you, I promise. So when will the Wizards make the Drizado Erden movie? I'm amazed they haven't. I'm amazed they have not yet. I think it's because they don't want to pay Ed Greenwood money. Exalted seems very video gamey. On tabletop, I always seem crunchy and slow as fucking situation. That's my issue with crunchy rules. More fun to tinker with than to play with at most time. So how does Exalted solve that issue at the table? You're going to be amazing, Beasthoven, when you learn that it doesn't. It makes it worse. What I mean by study Exalted? Because the thing is, you shouldn't just study good things. Study shitty things. Exalted's really bad in that regard. The charms, the skill trees, are some of the most detailed and, like, complicated things you can go through. They are incredibly chunky. Even though the system itself isn't really that weird, because it's based off the World of Darkness storyteller system, don't forget. Exalted is incredibly bizarre. It doesn't fix anything like that. I want to also say it's very video gamey. It's more trying to be anime-y. And it doesn't do a really good job of that. Very fascinating thing. But looking at this, I believe we are done with Brave New World. I believe we have successfully Brave New Worlded. What I will probably end up having to do is go through the entire thing. Just sit down one day and just, probably this weekend or something, and just sit down and add in some additional art. You kind of notice that I haven't put in some art pieces. Seems a little barren, especially near the end here. Just slap in some art pieces, kind of fix things up, like here, just to make everything look correct. And send it over to the commissioner to see if he sees anything that is immediately right or wrong. But generally speaking, I believe we're doing pretty okay. Tomorrow we are going to go over the Riddle of Steel, and we're going to go over the Riddle of Steel. Because the Riddle of Steel is a very fascinating thing. And because it is the Riddle of Steel, we are having to woot woot. Yeah, there's going to be some interesting bits with that game, because like a lot of them are the exact same, but we're going to go in chronological order. So I feel that's very important to get the full story of this. So we're going to start in 2002 and we're going to end in 2016 when Song of Swords, actually it'd be 2018, 2019 when Song of Swords came out. So yeah, it's going to be a circle. It's going to be a cycle. It's going to be a story. But stories are fun. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Godspeed, good luck. I will send everything over to the commissioner. Expect voting tomorrow. I will say that. We are going to go, most likely there will be democracy tomorrow, and it's going to be a lot of democracy, because we're going to plan out everything for the next while. So thank you all. I am, as they say, away.